You're listening to the Post-Fades Cheesesteaks podcast, where your hosts, Tim and Dakota, discuss everything football, Philadelphia sports, and much, much more. Streaming weekly on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find us on Instagram at PFNCS, and check out our Etsy shop at the link in the bio. Thank you for listening, and let's roll right into this week's episode. All right, welcome back. Another episode of Post-Fades Cheesesteaks. We got a lovely resident basketball expert, Mr. Tyrell Bradshaw. How are we today?
Chilling, my guy, chilling. Thanks again for having me back. I've been itching to get back ever since we did the NBA predictions and stuff last year. Got to talk about some of those topics. And now it's March, everybody's favorite time of year, so I'm ready to go.
I love March Madness because you get like all this excitement built up, and then it's just ripped from you, stomped on, lit on fire. It's great. It's great. Before we get, so we're gonna do a little bit of like deep dive into who we think's gonna be potentially upset, potential Cinderellas this year, some of the conference winners and stuff like that, and then get into our actual brackets. But if I recall correctly, last year you were doing push-ups. Well, we were doing it, but I didn't. I bitched out. But you were doing push-ups. So how was that? What was walk the people through it?
Yeah, so last year, and I go through, I don't know, this is probably just a me thing, but every so often I'll go through this whole like fitness thing. Everyone does. You have your phases where it's like,
give me 2 days and then I'm out.
You're all about your fit. Yeah. You're all about your fitness. You have like these goals set out, notebook, whatever. And then like it drops off and stuff. So one thing I like to do to kind of like pace myself a little bit is I try to pick it up in March or around like the springtime, which is like a simple like bracket push-up challenge. So I'll do my bracket. And then basically I had it set last year where for every time a team that I picked lost or when my bracket was getting busted up and stuff, every loss counted as 20 push-ups for that team. So like, let's say for example, like
20 push-ups.
Yeah, bro. Literally, it was okay.
I did it for like the first day, and then I realized what I got myself into, and I was like, my arms are gonna fall off. Because
if you really think about it, like you have an opportunity to do like a whole lot of push-ups in that time. So like a team, for example, like who was it? St. Mary's was making their run, or no, St. Peter's. St. Peter's last year.
Some saint was fucking people up.
Yeah, it was a Cinderella last year, and they kept making a run, so they were killing like my bracket when that happened. And some of the bigger teams that I had going further, like I can't remember exactly the bracket from last year, but like let's say for example, like you have a team who's like in the Elite Eight or the Sweet 16 or something like that, or even the Final Four, like, and you had them winning, but they lose out in like the second round. You're doing like 60. Sometimes maybe an 80 push-ups just for them losing because of all those games that you had them winning, that those predictions are now wrong. So I did a little bit over 1,300 push-ups last March. But I stayed true to it. I did it. It was hard and it definitely hurt, but I'm doing it again this year. And I've been teetering on the idea, so I got to make a decision in the next 24 hours, but I was considering doing a women's bracket as well. And if those... Yeah, either do sit-ups or squats and bang those out too. Just the full body, get involved with the workout and stuff like that. But something casual. So there's some people watching this or whatnot. You feel like getting involved in the challenge is 20 push-ups per loss. So feel free to comment below or let us know how many push-ups you're doing. I'm definitely going to do it. I did it last year. I felt great doing it the entire time. It was actually kind of fun. Not putting like my actual money involved in the actual games, but just betting on like just my health and my sweat and how cramped up my damn arms and shoulders and my back was getting from just doing all these damn push-ups and stuff like that. I would even like make little videos and like shout out the schools and stuff like that and be like, shout out like Utah State for giving me 60 push-ups, that terrible loss that y'all just had. So but yeah, so that's that.
All right. Yeah, we'll have to. We'll keep track. We'll do like Tyrell's push-up progress or something like that. Have a little graphic of you.
Yeah, let's do it.
All your pain.
bruh.
Pain and gain.
Yeah, pain and gain for sure.
All right. Well, so with that being said, so what do you want to dive into first here? Do we want to talk a little bit Cinderella, a little bit of who's going to get upset, or do you have more in depth, kind of looking at like the conference games that just ended and who won? Like Houston lost, that was kind of wild.
That
Um,
was a good game though.
it was.
That was a good game though, I will say. Yeah, we can get into some predictions, some light predictions, some
Okay.
outlook overview type of stuff. I did take some notes, so if you see me glancing down at the page or
Oh no,
off screen, that's kind of
unacceptable,
like what I'm looking
unacceptable.
for. But you know what I'm saying? Couldn't memorize everything. Um, so just looking at like the South Division, we have
Hmm.
who is it? Charleston and San Diego State that are matched up. That could be a really interesting matchup, even though I know Charleston's like what 13th or something like that. I gotta actually pull up my bracket, but um, that could low key be an interesting one. Now, San Diego State has great defense, so
Hmm.
I think that they'll handle business. But that's one to definitely keep your eyes on. They are fifth seed going against the 12th seed,
Yeah.
um,
That those
and
ones are
Charleston
always
has.
the 5 and 12
You
are
know what
always
I'm
tricky.
saying? Like, you know what I'm
They
saying?
are.
Like, it can be tricky, and you got to see how they play during like the championship runs and stuff like that too. But Charleston can shoot the ball. So if they get hot, I could see them really giving San Diego State a run for their money.
Hmm.
So that's a potential upset watch. You definitely want to keep your eyes on that one. And overall, just a good matchup in general. Maryland versus West Virginia, 8 and 9 seed. Both of them very similar play styles when it
Yeah.
comes to their teams and stuff like that. So that could be an interesting one, just if you want to see a good game um, in general. But I think that those ones could be pretty good and something to keep an eye out for. Um, Also, potential upset, and I don't really know how I feel about this one, but it's a low key one. Virginia versus Furman. Furman could low key win that game.
You think so?
I what? It's a low key one. I don't have them personally winning that game. I don't think. Let me double check. Where do I have Virginia? I don't think I picked that upset. I didn't. So I don't have Virginia getting upset just because I think that they did have a very good game against Duke during the ACC tournament.
Hmm.
Um, but there's potential. There's potential. Furman's not god awful. They're here for a reason.
Yeah.
They are another again, like I said, another 13 ranked team. Um, but there's potential. Oh, okay. Charleston is actually 12. My bad. So Furman's 13. But um, there's some potential there. So
Hmm.
I have them as another good game. This is an upset I actually do have on my actual bracket is NC State over Creighton.
Okay.
So I'm not too big on Creighton. I'll be completely honest. I think that they have some flaws that could get exposed. I know NC State isn't very good, but they're looking for revenge. I feel it. Like they got
Looking
that,
for
bro.
revenge.
I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm serious. Like the way that they lost to Clemson. What is that last year? I think that this could be one of those games where they come out and surprise some people because no one I don't think anybody's really expecting NC State to come out and make any type of noise.
Yeah, no.
Um, but that could be a potential one. Um, And what I've been hearing this. I don't know if I fully buy it. Um, but Missouri could be a dark horse type of team. I don't really see it if I'm being completely honest. I think that they'll probably win their first round matchup. That's 7-10 with Utah State. Although Utah State had a really good championship game too, so that might not come to fruition.
Yeah.
But for Missouri to do well, that means that Arizona would have to not do well. And I'll just spoil it now. I got Arizona winning the whole thing.
Are you actually?
I do.
So do I.
No
I
shot.
was looking at all of these fucking like everyone's like Houston, 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 Gonzaga, Houston, Houston, like sprinkling like another team, but like I don't know something about Arizona. I think it's because last year I picked them to go deep and they fucked up, and I'm just like, y'all gonna do it, y'all gonna do it this time.
They're gonna do it, bro.
That's
I'm
so
telling
funny
you.
though.
If
Okay.
I'm telling you, if you watch the Pac-12 championship game when they played against UCLA, that was a
Hmm.
barn burner. It was dope. And I'm not gonna shout out like specific players' names and stuff like that because I don't know all of them. But they got some shooters on that team. They're super solid. They might not have the highest IQ, but they play ball. They play hard. So I like Arizona going all the way. Houston is one of those teams, like, and you'll see when we actually go over like our brackets and stuff like that. Like,
Hmm.
I have them going pretty far, but I don't have them getting over the hump. Like, I just don't see it. that's just me personally.
Okay.
So that's them.
Is it
Um,
do you think so? Do you think of for the final four,
mhm.
what are your not teams, but what are your seed predictions? Do you think we're gonna have numerous number one seeds with no number one seeds, one or two number one seeds? Like what are we looking
So
at?
the way I have it currently, Leila, I have no number ones, but all number twos.
That's kind of what mine was.
I
I looked
have
at that and I
no,
was like, is this bad? Like
like
I feel
like
like there has
low
to be number one,
like
but
low key. If there's one number one team out there who I truly think that I may have overlooked, and like to be completely honest, it's Alabama.
hmm,
Alabama is probably the
I
only,
don't see it with them.
for me, I feel like they're one of the ones that could be like, how do you not see what we are type of thing
Hmm.
with them being a number one seed, but I don't know. I don't have any of them in the
Same
final
with
four,
Kansas.
to be
I
completely
don't
honest.
know.
Yeah, nah, I can't see it with Kansas either. Not this year. Like, and that might be a little bit of like unconscious bias because USC lost last year, but I can't see them doing it this year. They also didn't have a great, like, I don't know. I don't know. That might be some unconscious bias. So take that with a grain of salt,
Hmm.
you know. Um, Let me look what else I have here. We go out to the Midwest. You know, Kent State versus Indiana could be
Hmm.
another upset potential. Definitely keep an eye out on that game. I definitely don't have faith in Indiana. And Kent State's just kind of exciting to, like, if you watch their actual games, like they might be able to pull it off. They played really good basketball. They play a good brand of basketball.
Hmm.
Um, Xavier could be another team that could potentially get upset. Kennesaw State, first time in the tournament. Um, they're an exciting team to watch. I don't know if I fully buy it. I know that, like, again, this is one of those, and I'm just basing the upset watch based off of just like that number one, or like that higher seeded team just not being as great for
Hmm.
me foundationally. But I also don't necessarily love Kennesaw State as a competitor. I watched their game. Um, when they were, making their championship run in their conference, and they won off of what I believe to be a potentially um contradict what's the word I'm
Controversial.
looking for? Yeah, it's controversial. There you go. A
Hmm.
potentially controversial foul call right at the buzzer, point 0.7 seconds left. Like, dude goes to the free throw line, makes the first one, misses the second one, the clock expires, they win by one. I was kind of
Hmm.
like, it was tough. Like, there was a little bit of body contact, but I thought the block happened before they actually collided a little bit on the play. I don't know. So I think that was a tough one, just looking at how they got into the tournament in general. Seeing them beat a team like Xavier is not like out of the question for me, but
Yeah.
I feel like Xavier should handle business on that one. They should, but it's potential. You could look out for it. Um, I don't want this to be an upset because I got Miami making a little bit of a push in my bracket, but Miami versus Drake. Drake has good talent on their team
Yeah.
and could definitely make that push. I
I think
promise I'm
that's
only
I
yeah,
think
I was
that's
gonna
I think that's the most interesting upset, or not
yeah.
upset, but matchup. And I actually, well, you can go ahead, but I think something spicy is gonna happen in the six. You feel me?
Yeah.
Well, not the
I
six,
have
but
you're hilarious. You're hilarious for saying that because I was literally just about to say, like, I'm not saying that Drake might upset Miami off the sole fact of, like, I'm a huge Drake stan.
mm,
Like, I didn't want to base it off that because I have to come with more knowledge for that. It's basketball. It's my favorite sport. I can't just be on some like, oh yeah,
we're gonna
Drake.
cancel you.
Yeah, bro. Like oh yeah, like a school named Drake is definitely gonna beat Miami. Drake, Miami. Like, I can't. I'm not
Drake's
even
in the
gonna get
final
into that.
four.
I'm not even gonna get into that.
That should be
But
funny.
basketball wise, they definitely have the talent on that squad that could potentially knock off. I think Miami's a 5 seed. Um,
Well, I
so
think
you could
Miami.
see some potential in there
Yeah,
for sure.
I think whoever wins that could honestly do a little bit of damage because I think Miami's they're pretty decent as well. I think they could win a couple games.
Because if you look at the bracket now, right? Like, Miami would play Drake,
Hmm,
and if Miami wins that game, then they go on to play the winner of the Indiana Kent State game. Which, if
yeah.
Kent State doesn't pull that out, or let's say Kent State pulls it out and they beat Indiana, right? Then you got Kent State versus Miami, which they should hopefully handle that game. Then they go, and if my bracket is correct, Houston would win their first round matchup. Houston would beat Auburn then because I got Auburn over Iowa, and then it would be a Houston versus Miami matchup, which I
So
don't
I
know.
I
I
I
don't know.
somewhat similar, but like reversed. I have well, actually completely reversed. So I have Drake upsetting Miami, but
Okay.
then I have Indiana beating Kent State, but then I have Drake beating Indiana because, like you said, I think they're a little overachieving.
Hmm.
And I got Houston number one versus number 12, and what is that? The Elite Eight? Like,
Yeah.
Houston gonna rock them, but I think they'll. I think they might be my furthest Cinderella team. So what is that? Round of was it 64, 32, 8, and then Final Four? Or no,
Yeah.
16.
16, 16, and then 8, and then
So
Final Four.
yeah, I don't know. I can't do math, but Final Four. Yeah, so I have. Oh no, I have them in the Sweet 16. Okay, but we'll see. Who comes
Yeah.
out? Let's just look at Elite Eight for argument's sake.
Okay.
Who do you have? Like what are your Southeast, Midwest, and West matchups?
Um, let's see. For the South, I got Alabama versus Arizona, number
That's
one versus number two
that's
seed.
what I have.
Yeah, I got
That
Arizona
one's
coming
pretty
out on
set, I
top of
think.
that one. I,
Yeah.
I I don't know. I think so, to be completely honest. Like Alabama, in my opinion, doesn't have the like it's truly like difficult road to get there. Like maybe if Virginia plays the way they're supposed to play, that they get to the point to maybe upset Alabama. But you got Alabama playing potentially either Maryland or West Virginia. I think they handle either of those teams to then potentially go on and play Virginia, which would be the best out of that portion of the bracket before they would get to the Elite Eight. I don't. I see that their road is pretty simple for in
I
my eyes.
actually looking at this now, I have a one and two, one versus two, a one versus two, a one versus two, and then a four versus a three. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm fairly basic. I have one verse two literally at like every
Really?
spot.
I
Yeah,
think
as
that
I
I
look at
think
it,
typically
yeah.
that's what it comes down to, though.
Usually, and then it's like obviously those upsets happen, and then it's like, well, I didn't see that happening. But if I'm being completely honest, like if we jumped over to like the East, for example, like that one, I felt like I couldn't help my bias. Like I had to put Purdue in the Elite Eight because the way I saw it is they're going to get around past their first round matchup, and like whoever that play in is. You got Memphis, um, and their game against FAU. I feel like Memphis is going to win that, but lose to Purdue.
Hmm.
But then you have Duke should handle their first matchup. Duke would then move on. Let's say for argument's sake, Tennessee doesn't get upset. Although low key, they're another team who could get upset. Tennessee has not been playing the best basketball as of late, so they
Hmm.
could be another one. But let's just say for argument's sake, Tennessee makes it. Tennessee's
Okay.
not going to beat Duke, in my personal opinion. I feel like Duke is kind of in a spot, and it hurts me to talk about them like this because as a UNC fan, like we don't mess with Duke. But I'm trying to be as non-biased as possible. Duke as a fifth seed is one of those teams where like UNC was an eighth seed last year that showed you like they're better than the eighth seed. I feel
Hmm.
like Duke is one of those teams that's low key better than even a fifth seed ranking. They play good basketball. They won the ACC, but my bias can't have them go past Purdue on my bracket to play against who I have that Marquette coming out of the other side of that bracket. Otherwise, I would have a five versus a two, but I don't. And and again, you can chalk that up to bias if you want, but that's that's just I can't have Duke go that far.
That's crazy. So
I can't.
my every year I'd make this bracket.
Hmm.
Well, I would say the past like, probably 10 years, I've made the same mistake over and over again.
Hmm.
And for whatever reason, I'm like a low key Marquette fan. So every
Yeah.
year I have them going like decently far. I never go like crazy, like, Final Four or anything. But I do think this year, being the two, and they had a pretty strong year. I do see them coming close to the championship, but
Okay.
not that close. So I do have Arizona versus Marquette in one of my Final Four matchups.
Gotcha.
And I didn't expect that to happen. I just, went through the bracket and then I looked at it and I was like, oh shit, I put Marquette in the Final Four. But I was like, fuck it, it's about damn time.
I
So
also I also have them in the Final Four as well. I have them beating
really,
Purdue. Yeah, I
oh,
have them
okay.
beating Purdue in the Elite Eight. So I
So
also have them in my Final Four.
who is your Final Four? What is the matchup?
All right, so my Final Four, and then real quick, I want to actually jump back after I say that because I have my one team that I now, after looking at it, I have my one dark horse who I
Okay.
think is going to straight up go to the Sweet 16, and that's probably as far as they get. But for my Final Four matchup, I got Arizona versus Marquette, I got Texas versus UCLA, and then for
Mine's
the
close.
final, and then for the final, I have rematch of the Pac-12, Arizona versus UCLA, with Arizona winning the national championship.
Hmm. This one, you know how you kind of said, you have that UNC, you hate Duke bias.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stand Gonzaga.
I feel that.
So, so,
That that's valid.
so I had Texas beating them. So I put, I, or was it Texas or no, I lied. I had UConn beating Gonzaga.
You have
Even
UConn
worse.
beating Gonzaga.
So my final
Jeez,
four:
man.
Arizona, Marquette, Texas, UConn, and then my chip is Arizona, Texas.
The funny thing is, we could be laughing about
Listen,
it now, and then
listen.
watch this video in like a month, and UConn is playing and for for
My
that game.
theory. Well, UConn is just kind of. I was like, fuck Gonzaga. But the Texas thing, they have one of the like toughest brackets to get through.
Yeah.
So I think it'll actually be beneficial for them, and they'll be tested, and they'll have to play such tough competition that they'll make their way deep. And
Mm-hmm. Like they'll be battle ready by then.
yeah, and I think it's gonna be a slightly unorthodox because I feel like there hasn't really been like that team all year. I mean, Houston's been what number one or two for most of the year, but like I feel like there's not like a standout where you're like, oh, they're gonna win without a doubt. So
Yeah.
I think we could see. I mean, in mine at least, it's a two versus a two. So,
Mm-hmm. The
but
last time I had a team where I felt like there was like before the tournament even started, I was like, okay, like the tournament's gonna happen, but like this team was that Kentucky team with Carl Anthony Towns.
hmm,
They were undefeated coming into the tournament, and you thought that they were gonna be that team that was just gonna go undefeated all season, all throughout the tournament, and then win the national championship, and then they lost.
yeah,
So that was the last time I felt that I was like 100% on a team. Other than that, I've always done my brackets with bias. I always have UNC going all the way and winning the championship every single year. That's just me. But um, I guess we can touch on this before I get into my dark horse. But obviously UNC and their complete and total debacle um, of a season they put together. You go from last year where an eighth seed trying to go and do the impossible and win the whole thing against a Kansas team in the finals, and they come up short. But then this season has just been nothing but missed opportunities, must wins that don't turn into anything. Get an
hmm,
opportunity to play in the NIT, but they decline it at the end, so they don't play any basketball because they already know they're not going to go dancing. They're one of the first four already out with Rutgers, Clemson, and Oklahoma State.
hmm.
So it's just such a disappointing year for them.
I feel like in general,
I don't know.
like this, there's a couple either powerhouses who are like lower than normal or just like missed it. Like UNC, Villanova's
Mm-hmm.
not in it. Um, like Kentucky's a six seed.
Yeah.
Um,
The thing about Kentucky
Michigan
though,
State's a
bro, and
seven. Like,
yeah, and the thing about Kentucky, bro, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm actually really glad you brought up Kentucky because that goes right into my next point about who my dark horse is.
oh,
My dark horse, I'm going on the record right now and saying my dark horse is Providence. Providence is going to the Sweet 16, straight up. They're gonna beat
really?
Kentucky, and they're gonna yes, they're my dark horse. They're gonna beat Kentucky
You think
in
Kentucky's
that
not
first
not
round,
not properly
bro.
seeded?
my problem is that there's such a big like one and done program
Mm.
that they don't, even with Coach Calipari, like they lack like culture or like any type of pride. They have a bunch of people who are one and doneers. They want to show off. They want to go pro. So like
Yeah.
the school is only ever as good as that incoming class. And I don't necessarily, for me at least, I don't believe it when I look at Kentucky. So I think Providence gets past them. I think Providence wins another one against KSU, and then they're going to fall to Marquette by the time they get to the Sweet 16. But I feel like they're going to do some dancing. They're going to do some dancing in March, just a little bit. They're my dark horse.
Interesting. I had Kentucky beating them, and then I had Kentucky losing to Kansas State. But it's
Yeah,
interesting. Hmm.
it's an interesting one for sure. I have no I don't have like all the analytics or who the players are or the team and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
you can call that one a legitimate gut feeling, but we'll see how that pays out. My arms might hurt for it, so we'll see how it pays out though.
Oh well. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't. I'm looking at mine now. I mean, I said Drake, but like if Miami beats them, I think Miami could be a bit of a dark. I mean, for a 5 seed, I don't know if you call them a dark horse,
I could
but
agree. I could agree. I don't know. I agree with like the
the
fact that
winner
I don't know that you necessarily call them a dark horse, but I can see them making a run
the
for sure.
winner of Miami versus Drake will be in the Sweet 16. I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Was that Midwest? Yeah, I
Because
could see it.
you figure like they go through either Indiana or Kent State, and
Hmm.
then probably face Houston. But if Houston gets knocked off early, then they have a chance to do some
Oh,
damage.
they 100%. If Houston gets knocked off early and they're playing like let's say like an Auburn or even like Iowa,
Yeah,
for example,
yeah.
they might shock some people for sure.
Now, what are the? I want you to pick one team
Hmm.
that, like a 1 or 2 seed, that you think could be upset round one. Like who's most
Round
like
one,
if you had to, if you were told there was a 1 or 2 seed that was 100% gonna lose, who is it?
Purdue.
Did you put them in like your elite eight? Just like
I
like
know, know, I know, and that is why. Like, I feel like Purdue is the one number one. Like, they're a top seeded team that, if I'm being completely honest, I genuinely do not believe in them. I don't think that they'll necessarily go as far. If there's one team that can get upset, it's Purdue, in my opinion. But again, this is what I'm talking about with my bias couldn't get me to go the other way because I feel like Duke could low key beat them. And honestly speaking, I have Purdue winning if Memphis comes out of that game against FAU. But Memphis is a dope team too. Like if you watch them play, like they have some people on their squad and they have a solid foundation in their locker
yeah.
room as well. So if I'd have to say there's a top seeded team that could get bumped out, it's Purdue.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Interesting.
I don't like saying that because again that means that Duke might make a good run. But I could definitely see it. There's also a lot of hype around Alabama, so like they really got to show out.
I don't see like I don't know.
There's a lot of hype
Wrong
around them, or
sport.
at least from what I hear. Yeah, and that's my thing. Like I don't think that I can actually mentally process Alabama being good at basketball, knowing how legendary they are at football. But I mean, game got to recognize game at some point. Like they're not bad,
Yeah.
clearly. So
Hmm.
some other ones, Kansas, but that's bias more than anything else. I just don't want Kansas to win.
Nobody does.
I don't. I just don't want Kansas to win. Um,
Well, fuck
but yeah,
Kansas because they stole Kutztown University's KU logo.
yeah, we're in the same class. You know that we stole that from them, and they sued us over it. That's why our KU has a little the K is a little extra long under the U versus where theirs just ends right at the slant.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all can look that up if you want to get more info on that. which is the real KU.
So funny.
Oh man. Alrighty. Um, that's pretty much it as far as like a lot of like my different takes and stuff like that. I feel like I've covered everything that um that I would have covered at least at some point
Hmm.
from the notes that I had and stuff like that. And then obviously there's just some notes just from who won conference championships and stuff like that. But did you want to go game by game and compare our brackets? We obviously didn't do our brackets together, but it sounds like we're pretty
No.
damn close.
Yeah. Yeah, we can go through it and then we're gonna the plan is to make our own, but for some reason CBS is kicking me out and will not let me log in, which is pissing me off. So
Damn.
once we get that going. But yeah, let's we'll start in let's start in the south, I
Yeah,
guess.
we can start in the south and just go across east, midwest, and then west
So
or
I'm just
more.
gonna go straight down mine.
Hmm.
First round. I got Alabama over the play-in.
Yep.
West Virginia over Maryland.
I had
Same
it
it.
opposite.
Yeah.
Do you want to just do that where like you can say I can like step in, kind of say where
Yeah,
I'm at?
I'll
That way
do
it's
the
not
South, then you do the East, and then I'll step in. Then Midwest will rotate. So
where that works.
you have Bama, I'm guessing.
I got Bama winning their game in the
Okay,
opener, but I have Maryland over West Virginia
okay. I think that one's a coin flip, honestly.
easily.
I feel like the 8 and 9 seeds are always like that.
Hmm.
I got San Diego State.
I also got them.
Okay,
Yep.
I got Virginia over. I don't even know who the
Fur-
hell. Who is
Furman.
this?
Yeah.
Furman?
Yeah, Furman
Never
in
heard of them.
the
Get
in the
out of
first
here.
round, 13 seed.
Uh, I got so I can't remember if you were talking positively about Creighton or negatively, but I have NC State beating Creighton.
I also have them beating Creighton.
Okay,
I know it's a long
okay.
shot, but um yeah, I don't see it with Creighton if I'm being completely honest.
I got Baylor over UCSB.
Yep, same.
I got Mizzou over Utah State,
Hmm.
and then Arizona over Princeton. I didn't even
Yep,
realize Princeton made the fucking tournament. That's crazy.
they won. They won the Ivy League. Yeah, they
Wild.
beat Yale.
Let's get into the East then. What we got? What are we
All
looking at?
right. So for the East, I have Purdue making it out of their play-in matchup. I
Mm-hmm.
got Memphis over FAU,
Same.
Duke winning their first round matchup, and then I got Tennessee winning that matchup from there.
Same.
Just keeping it on that bracket before we move to the bottom. I got Purdue then over Memphis. So they'll go against the winner of Duke Tennessee, which then I have Duke over Tennessee, and then I have Duke losing to Purdue
I
to
have the
put
same.
Purdue in the Elite
Mine
Eight.
is Purdue beating Memphis, and then Duke beating Tennessee, and then Purdue beating Duke.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
funny. I swear we
um,
haven't like seen each other's brackets either. Like this
at
is kind of
all,
wild.
at all. Dakota literally sent me the invite. Was like, make your free bracket. I was like, dope. Did that shit last night, and that was it. Haven't talked to
I'm
him
kind of
since
flattered. You know,
today.
you definitely watched a lot more than I have, so my
And
guess
we
is
have
good.
similar picks. Yeah, no, it's freaking wild. Either that or you're an idiot, just like I am.
Probably.
All right. So second half, I got Kentucky versus Providence. Providence winning that one.
I got
Um,
Kentucky, but I
yeah,
could see it.
I got KSU winning their matchup.
Same.
Um, and then I got Michigan State winning out of the first round, and then going on with Marquette also winning their matchup.
I have
Um,
USC upsetting Michigan State.
okay. And 7 to 10,
Yeah.
it could happen. It could happen. Um, I got Marquette winning that next game or winning the next two games, I guess. So for me, it'd be versus Michigan State and then again, eventually against Providence. But I also have Providence beating KSU. Like I said, they're my dark horse team to go to the Sweet 16. And then Marquette winning against Purdue to get out of the East.
Yeah, mine's just mine. The East is pretty like in order. So like I think it's what I have Kansas State beating UConn or Kentucky,
Yeah.
then Marquette beating three Kansas State, Purdue beating Duke, then Marquette beating Purdue. So the
Mm-hmm.
tops. But um Midwest, I got Houston.
Yep.
beating where the fuck are they even playing? I forget.
North Kentucky.
North Kentucky, the
Yeah.
Norse.
Northern Kentucky.
Better get their
16
fucking
seed.
paddle boats out. We got Iowa beating Auburn.
I got it the other way around, but sure.
That one's a coin flip too.
Yeah. That's gonna be close.
And then this is my Drake upset over Miami. But like I said, I think either of these teams makes it to the Sweet 16, and then if Houston's not there, I think they could win and get to the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
But I have Drake over Miami. You said you have Miami there.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have Indiana over Kent State.
Same.
Or just Kent, whatever. I don't know what that is. Iowa State over the play-in.
Yeah.
I have Xavier beating who the fuck? Who is that? Oh, Kennesaw. Get out! If I can't pronounce your name, you're not going. Like
Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw State. I'm like looking at all these tiny ass logos, and I'm like, it just says Kent.
Ken S.
Who the fuck is Kent?
Ken SSW.
We got Xavier and Kent. Get these whole names out of here. And then I have Texas A&M over PSU, Penn State.
Okay.
And then
I want to see the upset. I want to see the upset. I got Penn State winning.
I had Penn State there, and I switched it right before we got on. So now you're making me think I should go back to Penn State. But
it's truthfully your call.
But
I just think that's where that's my 7-10 upset.
Okay. I mean, Penn State, they did pretty well in the conference, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Tournament.
Yeah, they had
They lost on like a buzzer beater or something, didn't they? Or by
it was close.
Yeah.
It was close. Damn, who was that game again?
It was against Texas, wasn't it?
No, it was Purdue. It was Purdue.
Oh, Purdue.
Purdue had it. There we go. Another one. Purdue had a close game with Penn State to win.
You heard it here first,
the Big
folks.
Ten.
Purdue. Bet your money against Purdue.
I'm telling you right now, if you want, check those money lines on all those sports betting applications. Wherever they got Purdue potentially losing, or you want to bet on the Cinderella on that one, bet Purdue could be the team to lose.
But I have Texas versus Texas A&M, and so that, and then Texas, and then Texas beating Iowa State because I had Iowa State beating. Oh wait. Oh yeah, beating Xavier. Remember, I was tripping. It's because I clicked on the name of Kennesaw State and I couldn't read it, and I was like, when did I pick them to fucking win? And then I have Iowa State beating Xavier. So kind of like you, I don't think they're gonna do too much damage, but
yeah.
Then Texas beating Iowa State, Houston beating Drake, and then Texas beating Houston. So that's the Midwest.
Bro, that battle for Texas right there between Texas and Houston, seeing each other, and what would that be, the Elite Eight? That'd be dope.
Bro, I have Texas versus Texas State, and then Texas versus Texas. I'm like, wait, hold on.
A&M.
Texas A&M versus Texas, yeah, and then Houston versus Texas. So that'll be a fun matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you got in the West before I lose my mind?
For the West, I got Kansas winning their first round matchup.
I would hope so.
They really should. There's no way they should lose that game. If they lose that game, there goes my bracket. I think there goes a good portion of my bracket. I got Arkansas against Illinois.
Arkansas, no, I have Illinois winning that one.
You have Illinois winning that one, okay.
I told you these 8 and 9s across the board.
Across the board, they're gonna be close games, in my opinion.
That's what's gonna kill all the bettors. Everyone who places bets, that's where they're gonna die.
I wouldn't even touch an 8 versus 9 seed. I wouldn't do it.
I did last year. Well, not to interrupt you, but last year I did a 5-game parlay, and I think it was in the first day of round 2, and I had to hedge my bet because I was terrified because I got through 4 games and I was like, shit, we're down to the last game. And I think all I did was just bet the other team to win. But I just put down what I betted. And I think I bet like $30. So I hedged $30. So like, okay, well, I'll get my money back at least. And then it ended up going through. So I think that was my biggest betting win. I won like 480. Which actually was funny because 2 weeks before my windshield got cracked. So that was basically to pay for my windshield. So I was like, all right, the money's going right, burning the money right away. But yeah, that was
funny.
You get lucky with those sometimes. So
on occasion, I don't. Yeah. I think I'll stay away from FanDuel when it comes to March Madness.
Yeah, ever since the Super Bowl, I've kind of stayed away from betting. But
yeah, I haven't really been doing too much sports betting.
FanDuel dicked me over, and I wasn't too happy about it. So
Casino is a little different. I get in that virtual casino.
They said, you want to cash out? Psych.
Not at all. I told you, bro. You should, man. Nah, let me stop.
You told me to let it rock. Is what you told me.
I did. And I'm sorry. Hindsight 2020. I'm sorry for that. You definitely should have pulled out a week before the Super Bowl.
I mean, it was a grand on the line. I definitely should have pulled out. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
anyways,
or at least hedged it.
Yeah. Oh well. You live and you learn.
You live and learn. I got VCU pulling off the upset.
Yeah, St. Mary's. Yeah, St. Mary's.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, St. Mary's. I got them pulling off. I got VCU pulling off the upset there. I got
VCU's
UConn
pretty
winning.
Reliable in the tournament for the first couple of games.
They're usually pretty good. Now, I'm not trying to knock St. Mary's. St. Mary's is dope.
They're also usually fairly reliable. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a good squad, but that's just my like. If there's gonna be an upset, it's probably gonna be right there. But I don't know. So I got VCU. I got UConn moving on, and then eventually I got UConn beating VCU to then play against Kansas, and I got Kansas winning that game.
All right, so you had wait, where'd you have how far did you have UConn?
I had UConn going to the Sweet 16. Okay. So I got them winning their first round matchup against Iona, beating VCU. VCU were to beat St. Mary's, and then losing to Kansas.
Mine was the same, except I had them beating Kansas. So
gotcha. Okay. And then for the lower half, I got TCU beating their play-in matchup. I got Gonzaga beating GCU.
Ooh.
I got BSU winning over Northwest.
Ball
and
State
then UCLA, Ball State University.
Boise State.
Yo,
Ball so hard, bro. University.
Boss. Oh my god! And then I got UCLA winning in their first matchup.
Besides Illinois and Arkansas, our West is pretty identical.
Yeah.
For at least the first 2 rounds, because like I said,
potential game of the tournament is if we can get UCLA versus Gonzaga. I need to see that game. I think that's going to be a dope matchup.
I mean, I have UCLA beating Boise State, and then I have Gonzaga beating TCU, and then unfortunately I picked Gonzaga to beat UCLA. But I'd love to see UCLA beat Gonzaga. I can't say Gonzaga.
They play a hard brand of basketball. Like they work really hard. Yeah, they're super gritty. Like
they're gritty, while Gonzaga plays dirty. But I mean, that's neither here nor there.
My man has some true hatred for Gonzaga. But
if my future children want to go to Gonzaga, tell them to change their last name. But
LOL.
No, I'm sure it's a good school.
Bro. Nah, just send them to me. I work at a Jesuit institution, so I can get them a discount if they want.
Yeah, you're not going to Scranton.
You don't have to go to Scranton. I get discounts at all Jesuit institutions, so they can go to Gonzaga if they want.
All right.
Word, send them to Uncle Ty.
Let's slow down.
But I got UCLA going pretty far, and then UCLA beating Kansas to go on to the Final Four.
All right, yeah, and we discussed our Final Four before, so we both have Arizona as our champions. So yeah, kind of wild how close our bracket is. So
literally, they're almost identical, but for a few games.
So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna make the official Post-Fades and Cheesesteaks bracket. So what we're gonna do, you and me, we're just gonna go like back and forth. So we'll start like I guess in the South, and then I'll
Okay.
pick the first game, then you're next, then me, then you, then me, then you, and no input. I can't sway you. You can't sway me. I mean, you could try,
Sounds good.
but it's all in it's all in the chooser's hand.
Yeah, no, we're good. Let's go ahead and fill it out.
Yeah, we'll start. So I'll start.
South Division.
We're going Alabama. So you got
Okay.
Maryland, Virginia, West
I
Virginia,
got Maryland in that one.
and you don't have to go by what you picked. You can change here if you want.
Okay. Actually,
So
I'm gonna close up my phone and just kind of who am I feeling?
I'll say don't close your eyes. Definitely look at it. But
No. I'm saying closing out my app. Like I don't want
okay,
to look at
okay,
like my old bracket and have that sway me. I'm just
all
gonna
right. I'm gonna go San
new
Diego State
knowledge and
over
how I feel.
Charleston.
Okay.
You got Virginia and Furman.
Give me Furman pulling off the upset.
Really?
Give me Furman pulling off the upset. Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know where Furman is, but they're going places
Let's see it.
apparently.
Let's see it. Let's give Furman the upset.
All right. I got Creighton and NC. I'm gonna still rock with NC State here. Fuck
Hmm.
Creighton.
I like it.
Respectfully.
I like it.
um
I'll take Baylor in that next matchup.
Baylor over UCSB.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with Mizzou over Utah State.
Gotta go Arizona.
I was gonna say you can't
Gotta
can't
go
be
Arizona. I can't be out here
all right.
saying I got Arizona winning and then don't pick them.
You're gonna stay with Alabama. Alabama.
Mhm.
You got San Diego State and Furman.
San Diego State.
Okay. You thought about it for a little bit there.
Yeah, Furman's done after they beat Virginia, but they're gonna be potentially maybe
You know, Baylor over NC State.
Arizona.
All right. You know what? I'm a little tempted here.
Yeah, you think this is where Alabama gets knocked off? San Diego State got good defense,
I
man. Like if
know.
they shut it down,
I know.
Alabama's having a
You
hard
know
shooting
what?
night, converting off of
You know what?
turnovers.
San Diego State, baby. Who you got? Baylor, Arizona.
Arizona.
All
I can't
right.
do Baylor.
We're getting fucked.
Uh,
All right. You go first on this one. Houston,
all right.
Northern Kentucky.
I still got Houston winning that. There's
Right.
no shot. I really don't see Northern Kentucky doing that.
I went. What did I do? I think I did Auburn in my personal. Or did
No,
I?
you said you had Iowa
All right. Well,
over
then I'll
Auburn.
go
I had
Auburn.
Auburn.
I'll switch it up. You got
Okay.
Miami and Drake. What you
I
gonna
still
do?
got Miami.
Okay.
I still got Miami. So I'd like to think that one star is not going to make the difference in that, but we'll see.
I'm hearing your Indiana complaints versus Kent State, but I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Indiana.
Okay.
You got Iowa State and then the play-in.
Yeah, I still got Iowa
Have we
in
had a
that.
play? Well, 11 seed for a play-in is kind of high, isn't it? Am I
Uh,
tripping?
it really depends. Like the rankings and everything. There's so many like programs out there to decide who gets in and who doesn't, and what record is weighed more, but versus like there's so much that goes into it. So I don't know. I
Mm.
guess, but
All right. And then I have Xavier versus Kennesaw State.
it's their first appearance. Damn son.
Fuck them. Going Xavier. You got Texas A&M, Penn State.
I'm still gonna stay with Penn State. I want to see them redeem
Hey,
themselves a little bit. You know,
Texas, Colgate. I'm gonna go not the toothpaste, so Texas here.
not the toothpicks.
Houston, Auburn. What you like?
I still like Houston for right now. I don't think that they're gonna lose. Not that early.
I'm gonna stick to what I said. Winner of Miami versus Drake's going to the Sweet 16. You
Hmm.
got Miami beating Indiana. You got Iowa State, Xavier.
I'm still gonna go with Xavier.
Okay,
I don't think that they're like the worst team ever, but you know,
fair. And then I got Penn State, Texas. I'm gonna rock with Texas still.
safe pick.
So you got Houston, Miami.
I'll go with Miami for this one.
Ooh.
It would be really dope, low key, to see them really get involved in the mix.
Get involved. I'm gonna go Texas over Xavier. All right.
Okay.
So I realize now we didn't finish these. So you got. I'll do San Diego State, Arizona. I got Arizona. You got Miami, Texas.
It's gonna be Texas. Miami's
Okay.
right. Will stop right
I
here.
was like,
Yeah,
we
they'll
gonna
stop
be
right here.
bold
There's no,
though?
no. I can't just for on this bracket just be like, oh, Miami's going to the Final Four, baby. No, they're
All right.
not. You know.
Down to the East, I'm gonna go Purdue over the play-in.
Mm.
You got Memphis, FAU.
I'm gonna stick with Memphis.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with Memphis.
I got Duke and Oral Roberts. Terrible name for a school. I'm gonna go Duke.
You're out of
I'm
control.
just being straight up.
Let me get the upset. Let me go Louisiana over Tennessee.
Louisiana over Tennessee. Oh damn.
Yeah, Tennessee could be a good loser.
Kentucky, Providence. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. This one's tough. I think
Potentially.
I think Kentucky can take care of Providence.
Okay.
You got Kansas State, Montana State. A lot of states in this one.
I'll take Kansas in this one.
Michigan State, USC. I'm gonna rock with USC again.
Okay.
And then you got Marquette and Vermont.
I got Marquette.
Okay.
Yeah.
Purdue, Memphis. I'm gonna take Purdue. You got Duke, Louisiana.
Duke's gonna win that game,
I
fam.
was gonna
I
say.
don't care how much. I don't care how much I don't want it. They gonna win that game, bro. Yeah.
Kentucky, Kansas State. I want Kansas State in my bracket. I'm probably gonna stick with that. Go Kansas State, and then you got USC, Marquette.
I'm gonna still go with Marquette. Handling business, doing what
And
they need to do.
then I got Purdue over Duke. You got Kansas State versus Marquette.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go with the Marquette.
Okay.
Let me get Marquette in there.
And
Yeah.
then I'm gonna go Marquette over Purdue.
Yeah, that's pretty safe bet.
So
We're honestly being generous with Marquette or with Purdue as it is. So.
half of my Final Four is the same as my personal one, so that's cool. All right, starting in the West, you got Kansas versus Howard.
I got, damn. Could you imagine if Howard pulls off that upset?
Well, hold on. We got 3 teams with first names. We have Xavier. Where's the other one? Kent and Howard. Just wanted to put.
Could you imagine if how? Nah, let me for this one, Howard. Let me see Howard. Yeah.
Oh,
I want to see it. Let me see Howard pull off the ultimate upset. Send that number 1 seed Kansas home. Yeah, that's what y'all get. Not back to back. Not this year.
That's crazy.
Early exit.
All right. I'm gonna go.
I'm keeping my original bracket. I'm keeping, however, but for this, let's see it.
You're bugging.
Let's see it.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Arkansas over Illinois. You got St. Mary's, VCU.
I still got VCU over St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's drops the ball on this one.
This side is looking healthy in numbers.
Straight
16 out of 12. UConn, Iona. I'm gonna go UConn here. You got TCU versus the play-in.
I still got TCU.
Gonzaga versus the Grand Canyon. Gonna go with a basketball team over a landmark. You got Northwestern, Boise State.
I'll take Boise State, honestly.
Oh, we're going heavy upsets in the West.
Yeah. I'll take Boise State this time.
UCLA versus UNC
Asheville.
Yeah,
UNC Asheville.
UCLA.
Yeah, no. They need to handle business on that.
Congratulations. You have the craziest looking second round matchup of Howard 16 Howard versus number 8 Arkansas. Who do you count with that one?
Arkansas will win that one. They'll handle business, but Howard will pull off that. I shouldn't say that, but it'd be pretty dope to see Howard get a win.
Did you see like how? Honestly, if I'm Kansas, that is the worst case scenario. That you lose to Howard and then Howard loses in the next round.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Like if you get upset by a 16 seed, you hope they go to the fucking Elite 8, or Sweet 16.
Easily, because otherwise it's your fault.
Oh yeah,
like it was your fault. You were the reason why you went home.
That's why.
1,000,000%.
All right. I lost track. So VCU, UConn.
Yep, that's your pick.
UConn there. You got TCU, Gonzaga.
I still got faith Gonzaga gonna handle business. Unfortunately or fortunately.
Boise State, UCLA. I'll take UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
You got Arkansas and UConn.
I'll take UConn in
Okay.
that game, in that matchup. Yeah.
And then Gonzaga, UCLA. I hate these motherfuckers. I'll take Gonzaga.
I was gonna say, go ahead. Wow. Okay. Okay. I was waiting for you to go ahead and pick UCLA.
I mean, no.
Nah, let's go ahead.
No.
UConn going to the Final Four, baby.
Should I? Should I?
Yeah, nah. You already did it. You already did it. You already did it. And I got UConn pulling off the upset.
UConn over Gonzaga.
Yeah.
This is my exact Final Four.
It's actually hilarious.
I don't know how this happened. I need
hilarious.
to bet on my bracket. I'm telling you, this is a sign.
Honestly, you might as well. You might as well. Because I got my bracket closed. I obviously don't have your bracket. That was just, feel.
All right. I got Arizona Marquette. You got Texas UConn. I'm taking Arizona here.
I'll take Texas then.
This is my final matchup.
Yeah.
I like Arizona. Who do you like?
I still like Arizona to win the game, man. I'm telling you, I don't know what it was, but watching that Pac-12 championship win that they had, I don't know. That for me sold it. I was like, yeah, I can see it.
Damn. I can't believe that was my almost exact bracket.
Neither can I. Honestly, that makes no sense. But we shall see.
All right. Well, that is a quick rundown of, a lot of the March. So we went pretty in depth there. I think that was a good conversation. Any final thoughts? I think I've pretty much said all that my knowledge can muster. Yeah,
I was gonna say, as far as like knowledge on the game or just anything, I think that's pretty much it. One potential standout, I guess, like last minute thought is, I guess Charleston did have 33 regular season wins this year, so it might be something to look at. But we'll see. But who knows? But bro, like I said again, I really appreciate you bringing me back on for another episode.
Of course,
I can't wait to watch it back once we see how some of the games go and updates on the push-ups.
We could be
where I'm at and
geniuses or
so wrong,
morons.
So wrong. But the thing is I'm low key. I'll be tight if we're geniuses and I didn't put some bets down on some of these predictions I'm making, because we could make some bread. We could definitely make some bread. But
I've been meaning to visit a bakery, so
you're hilarious. But appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks for coming on as always.
Of course.
That's the beauty of running your own show. You can have whoever you want. So glad that you were able to join again. And I think we had a good bracket, good breakdown. So for everyone out there making their bracket, we're hosting one on CBS. Check the Instagram and submit yours. You can play for free, or if you want, you can submit $5, and then whoever betted and then got the highest score, they'll get the money. So but everyone have a fun March Madness. Don't get too upset. Don't spend your life savings. And eat some wings and drink some beer. Peace.